So coordinate geometry is using the XY coordinate system to see how X and Y variables can be related to each other. So any two quantities can be related to each other, and we can show how they're related to each other through a graph. So XY relations can be through tables, it can be through equations, it can be through pictures. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the equations, and we're going to just use the equation to generate XY pairs. And those XY pairs can then be graphed on the coordinate plane. So if I have this relationship, y equals 3x plus 5, that means that x and y are related to each other. They're connected. Okay? And as we change x, y will change, and there will be a pattern of change. There's this connection, and this connection generates some kind of pattern. So if I plug in x is negative 3 into here, I'm going to end up with 3 times negative 3, which is negative 9, plus 5, so I get negative 4. That generates an ordered pair of negative 3, negative 4. If I plug in 0, I get 3 times 0 plus 5 is 5, so my ordered pair looks like this. X is 0, y is 5. Okay, plug in 2, I get 6 plus 5 is 11, so my ordered pair is 2 and 11. Okay, and I continue doing that. 3 times 5 plus 5 is 20, so I get an ordered pair of 5 and 20. And 10 becomes 35, so I end up with 10, 35 as my ordered pair. Okay, so after a while, we'll probably not use this write out the ordered pair. We could probably just use the XY table as an ordered pair, but for now we're going to generate the ordered pair. So here we want to plug in and also graph. Okay, so we're going to plot the points as well. So if I'm going to plug in negative 6, so now I have to be careful with all these negatives. Negative 1/2 times negative 6 is positive. That's going to give me positive 3, and I'm going to add 7, so I get plus 10. Okay, if you need to do this work on a scrap piece of paper, go ahead and do that, but you're going to have to make sure that you do your calculations correctly. So we get negative 6, positive 10. Okay, so I'm going to go 6 to the left, and then 3, 6, just a little bit off the graph. Okay, so negative 2, I'm going to plug in negative 2, so negative 2 times negative 1/2 is 1, so I end up with 8. So I get an ordered pair of negative 2, positive 8. Okay, so I'm going to get a point right about there. 0 is going to give us 7. The ordered pair is 0, 7, and my point is going to be right there. And if I plug in 4, I get negative 2 plus 7 is 5. So 4 over 5 up. Okay, so there's a point there. Now it looks like there's some pattern being generated now. It looks like there seems to be a straight line pattern happening here. So I plug in the last point, 7, I get negative 3.5 plus 3.7 is equal to positive 3.5. So I end up with 7, comma 3.5. Okay, so I go 7 over 3.5 up. Now this pattern looks like it's going in a straight line, kind of going from top left to down to the right. Okay? And really that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some pattern. And this pattern is the relationship. Okay, this is how x and y are related. When I divide by negative 2 and add 7, it gives me a pattern that looks like that. Okay, that's not a very good line, but I hope you get the point. Okay, so I'm going to draw my line maybe a little bit nicer than that. Okay, so we're going to get a straight line pattern, and really it's the pattern that we're looking for. These x's and y's are just part of that pattern, and we could have chosen any x and y. Really, we just using that x and y to figure out what is the pattern. What does my pattern look like? In this case, it's a straight line pattern, and for the most part in grade 8, we're just going to look at straight line patterns.